And it feels a little strange to just look back at the game. You want to just talk about like macro and platitudes and superlatives and the emotion, but hey, you got to look at the nuts and bolts as well and see where it fell apart for the Knight Riders today. If you look at their fall of wickets, great opening partnership, double scoop of luck over there, both with Venki Iyer, who gets a reprieve on 0. Dhoni drops a catch. You don't see that happen every day, once a year, once a decade, once a lifetime. I don't know. It's like one of those Halley's Comet kind of events. And then Shubman Gill with a ball hitting the spidey wire. But, they did well. They got a 91-run opening partnership. But look at that. They have gone from 91 for 1. And they were 125 for 8. I mean, what was it? Did you hear? Okay, I'm just going to ask the two of you. Did either of you hear this sound? Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. Because why was this march past happening of Calcutta batters?
I thought you were going to sing the songs they were singing for Dhoni. No, I think it goes down. I mean, we've always discussed in this tournament, what do you want to do? You want to try and get through to the knockout stages or the finals or the playoffs with as many of your batsmen and your players in top form. And it wasn't the case for them. I think they squeaked through on an average surface in Sharjah, where it was those guys at the top, Shubman Gill, Iyer, and a performance by Tripathi. But the middle order never fired. And at some stage, that's going to be shown up. And unfortunately, it was the case in point today. Once again, I mean, just chase that score. To be ahead of the rate after 10 overs, having not lost a wicket, the game is in your own hands. And, and if we look back at how difficult, I mean, Thakur's 1 over of 10 deliveries showed you that even when you're trying the variations, it was so difficult to get it out your hand. And you know how difficult it could have been if you had to defend 10 and over at that stage. So they just had to take it deep. And that's what Chennai did so brilliantly. Faf, at one stage, you might look and say, well, they were only 2 wickets down. Maybe they should have thrown the bat a little bit more to try and get up to 200 for 4 rather than 190 for 2. But it was that responsibility of someone being there, someone accumulating the runs, someone building a partnership, someone taking it down to the back end, keeping the pressure on. And unfortunately for Kolkata, they weren't able to do that. And it's in many ways, we say it should be expected because we haven't seen enough from those middle order batsmen.
Ajay, your call on the middle order batting today from the Knight Riders?
Well, nothing.
I don't know if you can give a view because there wasn't much of it, but from what I saw.
I expected a little more than, I know what's happened with them in the last 3-4 innings. They've been out of form. You don't, it's not easy to come in and, start getting 10, 12 and over when you're not in form. But, if it was any other side, I can understand because, KKR plays in a certain way. So that's something, you've been allowed to play no matter what your form has been. I know a lot of, emphasis has been on Ian Morgan's form, but, there's Dinesh Karthik with him. You brought in Shakib Al Hasan. He's only got 4 runs for you. Those important 4 runs that got you qualified. So that got you excited. So it is not that it was just Ian Morgan. I think it was everybody else. And I think they were carrying everybody along because they believed that, at that stage, it's not the numbers, it's the attitude and the little roles that you play, whether it's 20 runs or 10 runs or 20 runs. So I thought that they would have that confidence. And that's why when we were at that, halfway mark doing the combox, I thought, it was now for them to lose it. And I think the style that they've tried to play with, it's something that they've stuck to and they've had great success. But this is the shortcoming of that style, is that, that's the only way you are playing how you want to play. You're not playing the game. You're not playing the conditions. So at times when it comes off, it looks brilliant. But, when it really matters, when you've got to just keep things calm, then you can't do that because all through your season, you've been playing in a certain style. You've got used to it. Your team expects you to do that. So, no matter what happens, if you've just lost a wicket, you still go out there and, start playing the way you're meant to play. So I think they got stuck in their own web and they were unfortunate today as well because, Rahul Tripathi has probably been the pole that's held this whole 10 together in that batting. It's been Shreyas Iyer, not Shreyas Iyer, Gaurav's favourite.
Venki Iyer.
Venkatesh Iyer has been the main guy. Gill's, given them the impetus every time. Rana's come and played, what Tripathi used to do. But for me, it was Tripathi who was holding this batting together. Many games he's been there at the end, not just the last one that you remember him hitting that 6. So when he got injured, there was a little thing. But once you sent in Sunil Narayan ahead of Morgan at that stage, when you were ahead in the game, that's the first time I had the doubt that they are now doubting themselves. And I think that's what middle order's problem was.